Okay, it's time for a card trick. It's a union thing. We got to get it out of the way. All right, so here we go. We're going to do a little card trick for everybody. It uses a couple little paste boards here. I could have a card selected with my invisible spectator number 1 here on my left. If you would just say stop for me. They say stop. We'll take the 4 of clubs. That will be your card. You could have selected any one. Choice I would have made had I had the opportunity. I'm going to have you sign the card, but not on the back. If you would sign the front for me, I'll toss it down, have them sign the card. Take the selection back after it's being signed. Put it back into the pack, turn it over. Spectator 2 is now going to select a card. You can do it one of 8 different ways. Would you like me to use number 6 or number 7? Oh, 6, perfect. That happens to be my favorite too. So that's the top card, sir. So that's the 7 of diamonds. If you would go ahead and sign your name on that. Excellent. So we've got the 7 of diamonds. And I'm sorry, do you remember what card you signed, sir? Oh, that's right. That's the one that jumped over here inside my pocket, the 4. Excellent, excellent. Actually, here, let's make this a little easier. I'll place the 4 right here where everybody can see it. And we'll have your card, sir, jump into the, no, I'm sorry, not that pocket, inside this pocket, inside my coat. So we've got the 4, we've got the 7. Watch the 2 cards. All I have to do is just give them a little squeeze. When I do, those cards actually fuse into one playing card. The 7, the 4. That's the miracle. All right, well, if you saw the bloopers from the last 3 minutes, you would know that the next sentence is going to be kind of difficult for me, but this is one of my favorite tricks. It's called Anniversary Travelers. And so it's a take on a great trick by Doc Eason and Garrett Thomas, which we all know and love, the Anniversary Waltz. And so what I've done is I've taken the concept of, a multiple signed card, putting them together, fusing them together, but in such a different way that the cards are not stuck in the deck and held in their hands or any, there's no way that they can get to a point where they might take the card out, turn it over. It's not sitting out in the open. And it's very impossible because they see the 2 single cards come from 2 separate pockets while it's in full view the whole time. So it can be done in front of a huge wedding party. You can do it standing up. You don't need a table. So you can do it in front of a big group if you wanted to, or you can do it one-on-one. In the explanation, I'm going to show you a couple different forces for the cards, because one I prefer for a table if I have that, and I'll seat it and I'll drop the cards to the table. The other one is a much easier force, as we'll discuss here in a minute. But so for this, you need a pack of cards. You need a double-backed card that matches your deck. Very important that it matches. If you're using a red and blue double backer and a green back deck, it's not going to work out too well for you. So double backer, and we also need a double face card. Now, because we're signing both sides of this card, it's, try and use one that's not like a queen or a king or a court card. It's one that has as much white space as possible, okay? It's really not that important, but again, that's what I try and do. So for this, we've got the 4 of clubs and the 7 of diamonds. I don't bother taking the other 7 of diamonds and 4 of clubs out of the pack because they're never really going to see the rest of the cards. So it doesn't really matter. So it's very easy to get into. So I would just normally have these couple cards in my pocket, and I could just add them on top of the deck, put one to the bottom, pull the double back card and put it on top. So now I've got double back card on top, double face card on the bottom of the deck, and now I'm ready to go. So this is going to be the easiest false shuffle you've ever done, because you can shuffle the cards. All you have to do is keep the bottom on the bottom and the top on the top, and you just push the cards together, and you can literally shuffle the cards and not have anything mixed up, okay? If you know a good in the hands false shuffle or false cut, this is where I would use that as well. So this is the one that I use, and I'll show you. Just kick over the top half of the deck and you hold it in the thumb crotch of your left hand. You swing cut the next pack over, but instead of swinging the top, you're taking the bottom, pulling that out, pivot the top, and then drop that back on. So up to speed, and you can slow this down to watch this, but this is the false cut that I use. And I've been using this for probably 25, 30 years. And it's just a nice, simple way, but it's a full deck false cut. Everything stays where it was. Okay, so again, top, cut, middle, pull the bottom, pivot, and drop. Okay, so that's a nice false cut that you can use. And now we're going to force the bottom card. So to do that, I do a dribble force. So I'm going to lift up the middle pack of the pack and start dribbling from the middle. I don't even pick up the whole pack. So originally I'm going to dribble from the middle, and I'm going to let the card start to fall. As I say the word, tell me when to stop. And I do that on purpose because I want all the cards to fall before they have the opportunity to say stop. And the reason that that's important is because in a second, when I go to force the card, I don't want them to have the opportunity for me to go past my force card. Okay, so I want them to say stop very quickly. So I'm going to come through, dribble half. I say, tell me when to stop. Oh, I'm sorry, I'll go slower. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cards with my middle finger and thumb. I'm just going to pull out the middle section of cards. And then that goes on top. And as I square them up, I just keep the break. Okay, so now I've got the break. I'm going to dribble the cards now. Now they're preconditioned to say stop quickly. As I let the cards fall down, they say stop. I just time it, looking at their mouth as they say the word stop, and show them their card. Now I'm going to tip it the other way, peel it off, and drop that packet on top. So apparently this is kind of like a half pack frustration count, really. Okay, so they get the impression that they've seen the back of the 4, even though they haven't. So we dribble down that, they say stop, I drop that on top, and then I immediately spread to show that it came out of the middle of the pack. Okay, so that of course is keeping the back side and the other card hidden, right? So now I'm going to pull that card out. As I display it, I place it on top, and I'm going to get a break under my double back card. As I say, I want you to sign the white space, don't sign the blue, turn it over, and now I'm going to toss the card down to the table, okay? Or, you know, throw it in their hands or whatever. But the thing with whenever you have gimmicks, I always want to put the gimmicks in the spectator's hands. That's just me. I feel that if I throw it in there and I'm careless about it and it goes in their hands, they're far less suspicious of anything. So if I'm holding and hovering over the card, because I say sign the card, but my fingers are on it because I don't want them to pick it up and look at the backside, you know, they're going to have more suspicion and they're going to want to turn the card over. If I don't care about it or don't think about it, they're not thinking it's a double back card. Okay, so I get to here, I say remember sign the front, not the back. Then I just kind of thumb this down to the table. As I throw it down, now I'm going to get the pen out. They sign their name on it. As I take it back, I pick up the double, blow on the card just to show the back casually again. And then as I place it on the pack, I leave it out jogged. So the double is out jogged like this. And I'm going to push down with my thumb so that that 4 goes in line with the pack, and then turn over the top card. So from the front, it looks like I'm taking the 4 and literally just turning the 4 over, okay? But when I tilt my hand up a little bit like this, and I do that move, now it's invisible. They can't see what happens, and I'll do it from the back so you can see the card's up jogged. That's the double, down, and turn over, okay? So that's what we're seeing from the front, here, and back. Now I just do a false cut as I make some chit chat with spectator number 2. Shuffle the cards, which is even an easier false shuffle because all you have to do is worry about the top 2 cards now. So now we've got the top 2 cards, we mix them up, and now we're going to have the spectator select a card. But I don't want to waste a lot of time. So if I'm standing, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll just be talking to them, push over 2 cards, get a break, and say, you know what, let's just use the top card, turn that over, and throw that down to the table, right? So that's one way to do it. Another way, which I like to do, is if we have a table and I can use it, is I would have that card on top of the pack with the double, and then we'll just do a false cut, a shuffle. Now I'm going to cut that into the middle of the pack, retaining a break. And I'm just going to thumb over 3 or 4 cards and just drop them to the table. And this is, again, just like the dribble force, but this is done in a different manner. So it's the exact same force, but now I'm going to time it so that when they say stop, I'm going to push all the cards over above the break. And now this is the double back and their card. So now I say, okay, we'll use this card. Again, I thumb that down, I pick up all the cards on the table as they're signing the card. Okay, so that's a very casual and disarming force. You're just throwing the card down. Take the card back, put it down, again, blow on it, show them the spectator that his signature again, say you sign the 7, and then you're going to turn to spectator 1. And in that motion, you're going to turn to spectator 1, and this is what happens. I'm going to slow it down for you. My fingertips, my middle and fourth finger, are going to contact the double face card and push it into a palm position. As I continue to my left, and then I say, what was your card? And then I reach into my hand, into my pocket. Now you can go into either pocket or whatever, but because of the position of this card, I don't need to flip it over or turn it or anything. I just reach in my pocket, pull my fingers back, and pull the card out. Okay, so it looks like this. We can say, here's your card to 7. And what card did you have? Oh, that's right. You had this one over here, the 4 of clubs. Okay, so that's how the first card jumps into my pocket. I'm getting a little get ready under the double back card by pushing over and then getting my break. As I put this one down on top, I lay it flat, and I can just very openly do a double turnover. And now I'm going to wrist kill and turn that. All that means is turning it towards your body as I pick up that top card. Okay, so this is your double back card, because I don't want them to see that 7. So I come from here and I said, I'll put your 4 right here in my pocket. All right. So this is, I'll leave it sticking out. And now what I'm going to, in that motion, I'm going to use my thumb to push that double card up a little bit. Okay. The reason for this is because when I don't want to fumble when I'm trying to palm this card. Okay. So we're going to do Vernon's topping the deck right here, but by pushing that card forward, when my hand comes together, I'm going to just hit that edge and that card's going to pop up right into palm. Okay. So it's here and it's pushed up right into palm. Now I don't take my hand away, but what I'm going to do is I hit the deck, that goes into palm. I re-grip the bottom of the deck as my other hand goes into my pocket. So in motion, it looks like this. So we'll go back and we can see it. So we've got the 4, turn the 4 down, that goes in the pocket, this one over here, and then I reach in and grab the second card out of my inside. So the choreography is very important, so that, you know, the first one comes out of this pocket, the second one you think is going to come out of this pocket, but it actually comes out of the inside of your coat. And the palming goes unnoticed because as I come from here and hit it, when I'm holding the deck, this is a very natural way to hold the deck. Reach in here, nothing, reach in, and again, I don't need to flip this over. Inside my coat, all I'm doing is pushing that card forward and pulling it out. Okay, so now we've got the card. We say we've got the 7. I miscall this and I say the 4. Of course, it's a double back card. It doesn't matter. So I say, so we've got the 7 and the 4. They see the 2 cards, and now we're going to do the 2-card swindle, the 2-card Monty move. And what that is kind of like the paddle move. All right, so as we rotate at the wrist, we're going to do this and push and pull with our fingers. So we show the 7, then we show the 4. 7, 4. And so as I flip it back and forth, you can see those 2 cards. Now, when the double backer is on top, we're going to square them up. And in that motion of squaring, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to square them up, but that double back card is going to end up on top of the pack. Okay, so I've got 2, 4, the 7. I square them up. I leave the double backer on top. And I can even flash this because they just think they're back to back. Okay, so I can say, look, the 7 and 4 back to back. You can put them in their hands. They can squeeze it together. Whatever the magic moment is for you. Sometimes if it's a big group out there, I do just what I did for you. So I would say, here's the 4, here's the 7. In fact, if I take the 2 cards and just give them a little shake, they actually fuse into one card, the 7 and the 4, all together with the signature on both sides. And if you're smart about signing the signature, you get a really cool souvenir, because if I have one person sign this side and I have the other person sign this side, now I can rip the card in half and I can give that really cool souvenir to both of the people that helped me, and they'll never forget that card because it's a very unique piece with the printing on both sides. So that's Anniversary Travelers. Hope you guys liked it.